I'm an old fag, so here's the green text. Be me. 1990s, 19 years old, go to a lake with the boys. It's me, 4 guys, and 2 girls, sisters. The important one is Ruby. It's kind of a setup date for me and Ruby, so I was with her the entire night. Even spending a majority of the night alone with her. As soon as we started talking, she is acting a little distant. She doesn't want to take the drink I got for her. Also tells me she doesn't like touching people. Hangout continues through the night until one of our friends has to leave for work. The friend has lost his keys, and we proceed to look for them for 2 fucking hours. It was pretty important he got home the night, so we were all looking for his keys, including the girls. After the 2 hours of looking, we overhear the 2 girls whispering to each other. We immediately go check to see what's up. At this point the whole group is working together to look for the keys, so we all confront them about what they were talking about. The sister asks Ruby if she wants to try it. Ruby reluctantly agrees. Ruby asks to touch the guy's hand, and she asks him to think about his keys, not where he last left his keys, rather just think about the material, how they function, how they look. After a moment of silence she tells me to move away from where I'm sitting on the cooler. I get up and she immediately reaches in without looking and grabs the keys from the cooler. Keep in mind, this is in the 90s, before cell phones, and I was with Ruby the entire night. If they had some sort of plan to hide the keys, they would have had to plan the entire thing before even going to the lake, but still I was pretty skeptical and just assumed somehow they were able to trick us all. It gets crazy as fuck after this though. I'll have to count it in a reply though. Basically I met her again after like 6 years and asked her what happened. I've told this story before on this site, but I'll share it again. Be me practicing astral projection. Basically lay down on bed in the same position until the body feels numb. Practice for several months. One day I feel an orgasm-like feeling all over my body. I've felt this when I'm about to fall asleep before, together with weird random sounds of music or voices. Oh shit, it's working. Proceed to open my eyes. See a doll-like face very close to my face staring directly at me with a wide smile from ear to ear. It's floating parallel to my body. Terrified, I close my eyes. Begin to feel heavy pain under my stomach, near the vesicle. I don't know how it is called in English. Open my eyes. See the thing jumping over my laughing like the 90s tune Joker. I close my eyes again. I feel the thing pulling my ankles and throwing me out of my bed. I begin to cry while the thing keeps jumping and laughing. Then I wake up and retake control. I've never tried astral projection ever again after that. Here's the continuation. Be me like 6 years later. Randomly meet this girl at a party, without the same friend group. I'm the only one at the party other than her that was at the lake event. I politely ask her basically, how did you trick me? After explaining to her I have a curiosity for supernatural things like that. She tells me she doesn't want to talk about it and she doesn't really understand it herself. I'm not trying to be a dick and incur the wrath of a psychic, so I don't press for any more information. The people at the party continue to pry for info. Brothers. She eventually says she will prove her abilities by telling you something you've never told anyone. She does this to 2 guys, one after the other. They volunteered. The first volunteer just immediately runs out of the room like a black person reacting to a magician. He's hollering and holding his head and shit. It was pretty convincing. Next guy volunteers after that. She does it to him too. He just starts crying after a moment of silence. Full on sobbing, real actual tears, and hiding his face. Brothers. Before that I was going to try it myself just to see what would happen, but after seeing those 2 guys I got way too spooked to continue. This experience has stuck with me for years, and ever since then I'm not only curious about psychic phenomenon but I fully believe in it. Does anyone else have any paranormal experiences like this? Or even just reputable studies on psychics? I've only read the Gateway Experience stuff. This happened to me several weeks ago and it's bugging me a bit. Be me. Visiting another family with my family. Been there a couple of times before. 9 of us in the living room. They have a female dog we'll call M. She gets close to me and starts sniffing my leg. I stretch my hand so she can sniff it as well. Moves away but keeps staring at me. Her female owner arrives. She has to leave right away, so stays at the door. M is effusively happy and starts sniffing her. M comes up immediately at me and starts sniffing me. I get this strong feeling that she thinks we smell alike, we are connected somehow. Once again M moves away, this time however starts to bark at me like crazy. At this point her owner is no longer in the house. I think her owner is pretty and I find her attractive, hot, we have the same age. However I don't think we are meant to be. Now, I rubbed one off to her the previous night, I think that the dog can smell my lust. Is that possible? Me. B-kid. Aunt assaults me for her own enjoyment repeatedly. Mom doesn't care. Aunt convinces Mom to borrow things I worked in the fields to buy then sells it. Steals yet more irreplaceable things left to me by a deceased loved one. Calls the deceased loved one a piece of shit. Constantly fucks with my immediate family and saps resources while I go without essentials. Constantly disrespects my parents. Becomes friends with my abusive ex, who she hated and insulted while I was dating. Legit, this person is insanely toxic. I avoid the entire area they live in. I am male, they are female, they need their fucking teeth knocked out but I'm looking at fucking with their business or possibly sending a rubber snake in the mail and anything else I can think of for the rest of my life, then engraving a cock on their grave. Me, 31. Have absolutely nothing. Going absolutely nowhere. Ugly. Small dick. Everyone hates me, especially my mom and sisters. Backbreaking blue-collar minimum wagey. Why am I not and never have been suicidal and some Google nerd with a cushy and glamorous desk jockey job couldn't hang? I honestly think it's a spiritual thing. These materialist fags have even less to live for than I do. Yes, the app is called The Interior of Your Own Head Plus the World Around You. Randonauts is a technification of a practice I developed independently roughly 6 months prior, while out on a drive, which is itself the purest approach to this. Simply walk around and look for clues in your environment directing your attention or movement, following any impulse that arises. My method came when I interrupted the right-brained excursion for a stop at a fast food restaurant and noticed that the receipt had a 3-digit random number printed at the top of it. Me. Decide to take a left turn upon exiting McDonald's. Note, have also tried this starting at a Dunkin' Donuts with equally intriguing results. Walk as many blocks as the first digit indicates. Turn right and walk as many blocks as the second digit indicates. Turn left and do the same for the third digit. Arrive at an unusual location or occurrence in progress. This can be used on its own or as a part of a longer drive. Me fishing in my favorite secluded fishing spot. Wear a poncho cuss rain. Spin around because of boredom and high on weed. Stranger comes and takes a picture of me. Act retarded and point at him and spook the stranger away. Pond man is literally me. I have a similar fishing spot and in a decade Eva only seen one other soul there, is very secluded and deep ass in the woods. D.